Welcome back to Creep It Weird with Liss and
Natasha. I guess I could be Natty. Let's just stick with Natty.
Natty.
Hey.
But I hope you guys have liked the first few episodes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And definitely share, tell your friends.
Tell you, hide your wives, hide your kids.
Comment, like, share, help us out. We're noobs.
Yeah. Yeah, we're noobs here. It's better than we're boobs. We're boobs.
That's right.
Isn't that what they used to call, like, idiots back in the day? Called them a boob.
I love the old disses when they'd be like, oh, you're a rake.
It's like, sorry, I do what?
Just going in.
I don't know. I guess we're just going for it. Why not? Balls deep. Let's do it.
Just go right in. All right. Balls deep. Today we're going to be covering the D box.
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, remember the last time we tried to do this? Was it you that I was on trying to do this and it failed miserably?
No, this was when you were on Red Rum, and I was too afraid to even listen to it. But I was like, you know what? I want to know more about this box. So
Who was it? We were. I swear I thought it was with you.
No. Because you said, I posted it and I said, well, I'm not even listening to it. Like, I was too afraid of it.
Okay, so I've in a previous podcast tried to cover this, and I was going to make it a 3-parter. I think I got through part 1. It was a horrifying experience trying to get through it. Barely got through part 1. Part 2 wouldn't even upload. Like, everything started falling apart. Like, recordings, I had to re-record it. Things were like clusterfuck. There was things in the background. I mean, it was bad news bears. So I ended up pulling it from my social media posts and everything. Like, I just pulled it all because it was giving so much grief.
And then the rainbow came out.
Yeah. The sun will come out.
When I tried to cover the Ouija board, I was recording it with Mike, my brother, and his internet went out at his house. My internet went out. Everything was going wrong, like you just described. Like, anything that could go wrong was going wrong, but I still did it anyways after, like, the 3rd try. It went out.
Oh, geez.
So I'm probably haunted. Yeah, but the Dybbuk Box is said to be one of, if not the most haunted items in the world. Natasha's face.
They are. And it's not just that there's one. There's, a multitude of these things out and about that some people don't even realize what they are. That's the scary part. People don't realize what they are. And I'll let you go because I'm sure we'll get to it at some point. And this one, you're driving, so I'll try not to chime in as much until the end.
No, you can. The box itself is an antique wine cabinet that's said to be haunted by a dybbuk, from the Hebrew word Dybbuk, or a case of attachment of Jewish mythology or folklore. It's said to be a malevolent, wandering spirit that enters and possesses the body of a living person until exorcised. The box's owner, Kevin Manning, posted an item for auction on eBay in 2003. It read, now my mouse isn't working. Hold on. What is going on?
It read to be continued.
All of the events that I'm about to set forth in this listing are accurate and may be verified by the winning bidder with copies of hospital records and sworn affidavits that I'm including as part of sale of the cabinet. During September of 2001, I attended an estate sale in Portland, Oregon. Oregon?
Oregon.
Oregon?
Oregon. It's origami in Oregon.
You say Oregon Trail?
Oregon Trail. The Oregon Trail.
I always said Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail? Oregon Trail.
These old massies.
The items liquidated at this sale were from the estate of a woman who had passed away at the age of 103.
Damn.
Why am I so nervous doing this with you? We've recorded 100 times.
It's because of the topic.
Okay. A granddaughter of the woman told me that her grandmother had been born in Poland, where she grew up, married, raised a family, and lived until she was sent to a Nazi concentration camp during World War II.
Jesus.
She was the only member of her family who survived the camp. Her parents, brothers, a sister, husband, and 2 sons and a daughter were all killed. She survived the camp by escaping with some other prisoners and somehow making her way to Spain, where she lived until the end of the war. I was told that she acquired the small wine cabinet listed here in Spain, and it was one of only 3 items she brought with her when she immigrated to the United States. The other 2 items were a steamer trunk and a sewing box.
Just throwing this out there. If you're being held at a concentration camp, how do you have the space and the ability to travel with all these items? Just saying.
Well, this was after she escaped and she went to Spain.
Oh, okay.
And then she acquired them all.
Oh, I thought she had them and then she took it with her to Spain.
No, that would
Oh,
have been a
okay. I was
feat.
gonna be like, "What the hell?"
I purchased the wine cabinet along with the sewing box and some other furniture at the estate sale. After the sale, I was approached by the woman's granddaughter who said, I see you got the Dybbuk box. She was referring to the wine cabinet. I asked her what a Dybbuk box was, and she told me that when she was growing up, her grandmother always kept the wine cabinet in her sewing room. It was always shut and set in a place that was out of reach. The grandmother always called it the Dybbuk box. When the girl asked her grandmother what was inside, her grandmother spit 3 times through her fingers and said a Dybbuk and Keslam.
Okay, so my grandma did not do any incantations, but every time she would see a hearse or pass a cemetery, she would do something and then go like she would always spit 3 times.
Why? I've never heard of that before this story.
It's to ward off evil.
With saliva?
You didn't know that?
I didn't.
Something about spitting 3 times. I think it's because you spit. Don't spit 4. Don't spit 2. You got to spit 3.
3, okay. The grandmother went on to tell the girl that the wine cabinet was never, ever to be opened. Her grandmother had asked that the box be buried with her. However, as such a request was contrary to the rules of an Orthodox Jewish burial, the grandmother's request had not been honored. I asked the granddaughter what a Dybbuk and Keslam were, but she did not know. I asked if she would like to open it with me. She did not want to open it, as her grandmother had been very emphatic and serious when she instructed her not to do so, and regardless of the reason, she wanted to honor her grandmother's request. I finally ended up offering to let her keep what seemed to be
I'm just over here going, would you open that box
as the buyer or as the granddaughter.
as the granddaughter?
As the granddaughter, I would have buried it with my grandmother if that's what she asked me to do. You don't go against a dying person's wish.
It's in the living will. The living will.
Yeah, but what if she was like, "This is what I want to happen when I die"? I'd be like, "Okay." Why would you be like, "No"?
It is kind of weird. I mean, I would probably have buried it with grandma.
Yeah. So he said, I finally ended up offering to let her keep what seemed to me to be a sentimental keepsake. At that point, she was very insistent and said, No, no, you bought it.
Mm.
I explained that I didn't want my money back and that it would make me feel better to do what I thought was an act of kindness. She then became somewhat upset. Looking back now, the way she became upset was just plain odd. She raised her voice to me and said, You bought it. You made a deal.
Oh, a deal with the devil, perhaps.
When I tried to speak, she yelled, We don't want it. She began to cry, asked me to leave, and quickly walked away. I wrote the whole episode off to be stress and grief she must have been experiencing. I took my purchases and politely left. At the time when I bought the cabinet, I owned a small furniture refinishing business. I took the cabinet to my store, put it in my basement workshop, where I intended to refinish it and give it as a gift to my mother. I didn't think anything more about it. I opened my shop for the day and went to run some errands, leaving the young woman who did the sales for me in charge. After about half an hour, I got a call on my cell phone. The call was from my salesperson. She was absolutely hysterical and screaming that someone was in my workshop, breaking glass and swearing. Furthermore, the intruder had locked the iron security gates and emergency exit, and she could not get out. As I told her to call the police, my cell phone battery went dead. I hit speeds of 100 miles per hour getting back to the shop.
Hauling ass.
When I arrived, I found the gates locked. I went inside and found my employee on the floor in a corner of my office, sobbing hysterically. I ran to the basement and went downstairs. At the bottom of the stairs, I was hit by an overpowering, unmistakable odor of cat urine. There have never been any animals kept or found in my shop. The lights didn't work. As I investigated, I found that the reason the lights didn't work also explained the sound of glass breaking. All of the light bulbs in the basement were broken. All 9 incandescent bulbs had been broken in their sockets, and 10 4-foot fluorescent tubes were lying shattered on the floor. I did not find an intruder. However, I should also add that there was only one entrance to the basement. It would have been impossible for anyone to leave without meeting me head on. I went back up to speak to my salesperson, but she had left.
Mm. Well, who's to say they didn't leave while the person was hiding in the office? I mean, there was a time between him getting there and her calling, right?
Yeah, she was sobbing. Yeah, they could have ran out past and not been seen. She never returned to work. After having been with me for 2 years, She refuses to discuss the incident to this day. I never thought of relating the events of that day to anything having to do with the cabinet. Then things got worse.
Mm-hmm. Much, much worse.
As I already indicated, I had decided to give the cabinet to my mother as a birthday gift. About 2 weeks after I made the purchase, I decided to get started refinishing it. I was surprised to find that the cabinet has a unique little mechanism. When you open one of the doors, the mechanism causes the opposite door with the little drawer below to open at the same time. It's very well made. Inside the cabinet, I found the following items: one 1928 U.S. wheat penny, one 1925 U.S. wheat penny, one small lock of blonde hair bound with string, one small lock of black/brown hair bound with string, one small granite statue engraved and gilded with Hebrew letters. I've been told that the letters spell out the word shalom, one dried rosebud, one golden wine cup, and one very strange cast iron candlestick holder with octopus legs.
This is a fucking spell. It's a binding mechanism, people. And you just opened it. This is witchcraft at its finest.
What would you do in that situation?
You done fucked up, AA Ron. Like,
Would you put it back?
once you open that box, well, there's no point in doing it back unless you know the spell to bind whatever the hell you just cut loose. You're screwed.
All right. I saved all the items in a box, intending to return them to the estate. The family has refused the items, so they will be included in the sale of this cabinet. So he took the route of let me sell it.
Yes.
After opening the cabinet, I decided not to refinish it. I cleaned it and rubbed in some lemon oil. It was at this time that I noticed that there was an inscription in Hebrew carved into the back of the cabinet. I have no idea what it says or if it's significant.
I'd say it is. Sir. Dear sir.
I have included a picture of that inscription below. On my mother's birthday, October 28th, 2001, my mother called to tell me that she was going out of town with my sisters for 3 days.
This dude, man. I know what's coming. That's what's so great about it. I'm like, this fucker.
He's like oblivious. And we postponed celebrating her birthday together until she returned. On October 31st, 2001, my mother came to my shop. We were going to have lunch together, but before we were going to leave, I gave her the wine cabinet.
Her birthday present. This mofo found all this weird shit in this cabinet and then decided to give it to his mother on Halloween for her birthday. When the veil is thin.
She seemed to like it. While she examined it, I went to make a phone call. I hadn't been out of sight more than 5 minutes when one of my employees came running into my office saying that something was wrong with my mom.
Mm-hmm. Cursed your mother.
Happy Halloween!
Happy birthday, bitch.
When I went back to see what the matter was, I found my mom sitting in the chair beside the cabinet. Her face had no expression, but tears were streaming down her cheeks. No matter how I tried to get her to respond, she would not. She could not. It turns out that my mother had suffered a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
She was taken to the hospital by ambulance, and she ended up suffering partial paralysis and losing her ability to speak and form words. She has since regained the ability to speak. She could understand things being said to her and could respond by pointing to the letters of the alphabet to spell out the words she wanted to. When I asked her the following day how she was doing, she teared up and spelt out the words, "No gift." I assured her that I had given her a gift for her birthday, thinking that she did not remember, but she became even more upset and spelt out the words, "hate gift."
Ugh.
I laughed and I told her not to worry. I told her I was sorry that she didn't like the cabinet and I'd get her anything she wanted if she would promise to get well soon.
I'm still just like, okay, this guy, it's clearly something's going on with this cabinet. And he's probably one of those guys that is so dead set on it is nothing. He's probably one of those Scientology type mofos that just refuses to believe in anything supernatural. And so he breaks out this box, even though it clearly says they have stated on more than we can, do not open this box. Do not open this box. It's bad news bears. Don't do it. Don't do it. He hadn't even opened it yet when all the lights go off and things like shit hits the fan with the employee. Then he's like,
Well, wasn't that right after?
did he open it before? I thought it was before he opened it. Or maybe it was after he opened it.
Gonna make me look.
Yeah, it's okay. It's gonna make me think about it too. I'm like, hold on. It's only been like 2 years since I did the research on this.
It was 2 seconds ago since I read it, and I forget.
I thought he brought it back and then he was having issues and then he opened it. No, because he opened it to refinish it.
It was before he even opened it, it was just after he brought it to the shop. You were right.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. So he brings it in, this weird stuff happens. Then he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna refinish it and give it away. So he opens the motherfucking box. Nothing happens to him, but he's like, well, there's all this weird stuff in here. So my question is, did he leave the stuff in the box or did he take the stuff out of the box?
Didn't he say he packed it back?
Did he? Oh, yeah, yeah. Hey, so he packed it back up. Sorry, I forgot about that. So he puts it back in there. And then he's just like, well, that was weird, but I'm going to give it to my mother for her birthday.
He tried to give it to the family, and they were
Yeah,
like,
back
"We
to the
don't want it."
family.
And so he was like, "All right, well, I'll just keep it with
Yeah,
the."
but here's my thing is, so you find weird ass stuff, including locks of hair, and you put it back in a box to give to your mother. I mean, the least you could do is empty the box out.
A little holy water in there.
Yeah, but well, to him, he wouldn't even need holy water because he doesn't believe in this crap. Joke's on him. But then it's like, so it is, as far as I understood, it was still in the basement. It never left the basement. The basement's in the shop. And that's where the thing, he put the cabinet, and I don't think it ever made it upstairs. I mean, he was doing all the work to it downstairs, and then his mother went downstairs to look at it.
Mm.
And then he left her alone with the mystery box. And then he comes back down, and she's like essentially a zombie. Not that she stroked out and hit the floor or anything like that. I mean, she was still upright and somewhat functioning.
But can't talk with tears. That's like such.
Yes.
That's a horrific state to be in. Like, you're well aware of what's happening around you, that you're
Yeah.
crying so you can feel what's happening, and you just
Yeah.
can't. That's like sleep paralysis.
Yeah. And what if it's all the pain that's experienced in this box? Whatever's in there is causing so much pain and she can't express it.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Like soul torturous type pain that you can't even put into words because it is cutting you all the way down to the soul.
Happy birthday, Ma.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say, still, I didn't associate anything that happened with the cabinet itself or anything paranormal. Frankly, I don't even think I ever even used the term paranormal until this month.
Yeah, this idiot.
I'll try to make this short now. I gave the cabinet to my sister. She kept it for a week and then gave it back. She complained that she couldn't get the doors to stay closed and they kept coming open. There are no springs in the door mechanisms. I've never found that the doors come open. I gave it to my brother and his wife, who kept it for 3 days and then gave it back. My brother said it smelled like jasmine flowers, and his wife insisted that it gave an odor of cat urine.
Idiots. So this asshole, well, it gave mom a stroke. Now I'm going to give it to my sister. Maybe the other sister, no, in his defense, maybe the other sister's house was just uneven, and that's why the doors kept coming open. But so it's one sister, then boom, it's a sister. Then it's like he just keeps trying to hot potato this motherfucker, and it's like for somebody who doesn't believe in this stuff, he's awfully adamant to get rid of it.
Then he goes on to say, I gave it to my girlfriend, who asked me to sell it for for her after only 2 days. I sold it the same day to a nice middle-aged couple. 3 days later, when I came to open the shop for the day, I found the cabinet sitting at the front doors with a note that read, "This has a bad darkness. I have no idea what that meant. Anyways, I ended up taking it home."
Idiot. I had a thought there for a second, but you said this gentleman bought it and then brought it back. So
It was an elderly couple that bought it.
what my brain was thinking, though, was maybe it was because it was gifted and somebody had not chosen to take it. But if these people purchased it, then it should have not caused them any issues because they made the deal to purchase it. But that doesn't work out if they purchased it and still had problems. So never mind.
Then things got even worse. Since the day I brought it home, I began having a strange reoccurring nightmare. Every time I have the horrible dream, it goes something like this. I find myself walking with a friend, usually someone I know well and trust. At some point in the dream, I find myself looking into the eyes of the person that I'm with. It's then that I realize that there is something different, something evil looking back at me. At that point in my dream, the person I am with changes into what can only be described as the most gruesome, demonic-looking hag that I've ever seen. This hag proceeds then to beat the living tar out of me. I have awakened numerous times to find bruises and
Mhm.
marks on myself where I've been hit by the old woman during the previous night. Still, I never related the nightmares to the cabinet, nor do I think that I ever would have.
Idiot. Idiot. Like, how many times has this thing thrown up red flags? It's like the bridge, the bridge is out, the bridge is out, turn back, like road closed, bridge is out. And then he's like, I'm just gonna drive.
It literally had a note attached. This thing has a bad darkness. Like it couldn't be more
I
clear.
didn't know what that meant. I don't know. It gave your mother a freaking stroke, you idiot. Although I do find it interesting that it's not that it smelled like sulfur. That's one thing that gets me is sulfur a lot of times is attributed to demonic activity and stuff. But instead of sulfur, it was cat piss.
But some people are smelling jasmine flowers, like depending on the person, even in the same house. But isn't that strange?
Well, one person smelled jasmine flowers. I got a ghost around here that smells like an ashtray. And I just get whiffs of cigarette smoke. Actually, it just happened the other night. And I was like, do you smell that? And they're like, what? I'm like, it smells like an ashtray. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you don't smell that? They're like, all I smell is your incense. And I was like, that's not it.
Well, if you know the person that you're smelling, I love getting those smells of like loved ones that have passed on and you smell their perfume and you're
This
like,
was not, no, this is not from somebody I
oh,
know.
well, that's not really comforting.
No, I've gotten it since I moved into the house off and on. So somebody here used to smoke. I don't know who it was though. But still, like, I would have expected sulfur. But maybe it's not a demon and that's why it's not sulfur. Because this is like essentially like a hag, like a witch. So maybe the witch whatever, the bad mojo from the witch smells like cat pee and not sulfur because it's not technically a demon.
And maybe she put perfume on one day and that's why she smelled the jasmine.
That's why it's only smelled like that with the brother-in-law, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta look good for the brother-in-law. Let's scare this girl off with cat pee smell, but we're gonna lure him in with jasmine flowers.
Right. Okay. So about a month ago, however, my sister and my brother and his wife came over to my house and spent the night. The following morning, during breakfast, my sister complained that she had a horrible nightmare. She said that she recalled having it a couple times before and went on to describe my nightmare exactly to the last detail. My brother and his wife froze as they listened, and they chimed in that they had both had the exact same dream during the night as well. The hair was standing up on the back of my neck and still is. As we talked, it became clear that the common denominator was that each of us had had the nightmare during the time that the cabinet was in our respective homes. I called my girlfriend and asked if she could recall having any nightmares recently. She described the same nightmare, same hag, everything. When I asked her if she remembered the date when she had the nightmare, she said she did not. Then I asked if it happened to be the night before she gave me the cabinet back to sell for her. She said, yeah, how did you know that?
Well, how did she know that? She just said she didn't know.
It came flooding back.
Yeah. What do they call that where you, like if you're interrogating a suspect and you give them
Leading.
information, all they have to do is agree yes or no? Feeding, yeah, feeding.
Leading questions.
Yeah, leading questions. Maybe that's what's going on here.
Now then, since my family discussion, it seems like all hell is breaking loose. For a week afterward, I started seeing what I can only describe as shadow things in my peripheral vision. In fact, numerous visitors to my house have claimed that they have seen these shadow things. I put the cabinet in an outside storage unit and was awakened when the smoke alarm in the unit went off in the middle of the night. When I went to see what was burning, I opened the door and didn't see any smoke. However, I did get hit with the smell of cat urine.
Ew.
When I went back inside, the smell was there in the house. I do not own a cat, and I never have. I went back outside and grabbed the cabinet. I brought it back inside and tried to research it on the internet. While I was surfing the net, I fell asleep and once again had the same freaking nightmare. I woke up at around 4:30 a.m. when it felt and smelled like someone was breathing on my neck,
Mm,
to find that my house now smelled like jasmine flowers. So maybe she's into him too.
maybe.
Just in time to see a huge shadow thing go loping down the hall away from me.
Loping?
Loping.
Wonder what that looks like.
I just picture like the purple pie man, like just loping.
Oh, I was thinking like a skip.
I would destroy this thing in a second, except I really don't have any understanding of what I may or may not be dealing with. I'm afraid, and I do mean afraid, that if I destroy the cabinet, whatever is in it that seems to have come with the cabinet may just stay here with me. I have been told that there are people who shop on eBay that understand these kinds of things and specifically look for these kinds of items. If you are one of these people, please, please buy this cabinet and do whatever you do with a thing like this. Help me.
You know what that's called? It's called karma. That's what that is.
He ran out of regifting people.
Yeah. Well, nobody else wants this damn thing, so I guess I'll get rid of it. Well, the thing is, he brought it back into his house. Why?
I just know if something has a sign on it that says this thing has evil in it, my next thing to do would not be to bring it home.
Well, I wouldn't have to worry about that because I would have already known by now that this motherfucker had evil in it.
But if someone put a sign, that wouldn't be like, hey, maybe let's not bring this home.
But I would have already known. I would have never thought to bring it anywhere near my house. Find yourself a witchy friend or whatever you want to call me, and then just be like, can you come over here and lay hands on this box? Not like throw down, but you know what I mean. Like lay some hands on this mofo.
He went on to say that you see that I have no reserve price or minimum bid. If I can make things any easier, let me know and I will do everything within my abilities. One more note, on the same day my mom had her stroke, the lease to my store was summarily terminated without cause. The measurements are 12.5 inches by 7.5 inches by 16.25 inches.
Yeah, and see, I always pictured the box as being like a giant, like, hutch.
I was just going to say that same thing.
Like when you see pictures of it, it looks huge.
Yeah, and then you actually like get one of the pictures where it's backed away from it and you're like, that's it? It's like a jewelry box. Like it's not
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, that's what she said. But I'm just like, burn it. But I'm like, no, I know burning's a bad idea. I know. But if homeboy here has no idea how these things function, he thinks it's all fake, why didn't he just burn it?
Because he can save money on gifting to people and just re-gift things.
How much money are you going to spend burning that motherfucker? You'd spend less money than gas to drive it back and forth. This guy's an idiot.
But he goes on to say, all of the items that I originally found inside the cabinet are included in the sale and will be delivered with the cabinet. On June 12th, 2003, the seller added the following information. There is no way I can respond to all the emails I've received since I put this thing online. I'll try to update and answer the most common questions I've been receiving. Number 1, no, I am not religious. Number 2, no, I do not wish to have or participate in any sort of exorcism or case study or photo sessions at my home. Number 3, no, I will not sell any of the individual pieces that were originally found separate from the other pieces in the cabinet. Number 4, no, I do not speak Hebrew, nor do I know what the word Keslam means. I don't know that the word is even or a Hebrew word. Okay.
Mm.
Number 5, at the end of the auction, I've decided to take an opportunity to speak with the winning bidder for 2 reasons. A, to make sure that the winning bidder is a serious adult who employs some valid reasoning skills in making the decision to accept whatever this is. I will not be judgmental.
I wouldn't even do that. I'd be like, it's yours. Bye, bitches.
I will not be judgmental. Do whatever you want or need after the sale. And B, to offer full details of the events that have transpired. After I have carried out these responsibilities and upon payment, I will have the cabinet and its contents delivered by U.S. mail, FedEx, or UPS to the winning bidder. At that point, I will have no further involvement with the matter in any way, shape, or form, period. And number 6, to all that have offered to pray, I may not be religious, but I am certainly open to the possibilities, no matter what your religion might be. Thank you.
What an idiot. And here would be my question. So, if I remember correctly, I think when I was looking at stuff, that particular box was used to hold scrolls and such. That a lot, well, a Dybbuk box in general was made to hold scrolls that would have like spells and stuff like that in them, like different rituals and things like that. Like that was the purpose of these boxes. People would put all their goodies in the box and then take it. So either the stuff in there was used to spellbind that particular cabinet, or they were just quote unquote ingredients or materials needed to maybe do an exorcism.
Mm.
Well, everything except the lock of hair. So I think the lock of hair has to be pertinent to either the person casting or completing said ritual, and then maybe it was used on a possession, and the other lock of hair was the person that was possessed. Because usually you need a lock of hair or some kind of DNA substance of some kind
For both parties?
to put it all together. Yeah.
All right.
Well, if you're thinking about what, So sometimes in paganism or witchcraft, whatever, that's when the hair stuff gets involved. And now I've heard other things where it's like you take something of somebody else's. It doesn't have to be hair, but it could be something else. It's just that hair is typically the thing that you just and you're done.
Yeah,
So
like the craft
yeah. So what if it was like a exorcist toolbox?
with coins to
Yeah.
maybe to denote the years. I don't know.
Or maybe it was just so happened whatever it was made out of. Because weren't wheat penny or were wheat pennies real copper?
Yeah,
And then the candlestick's iron, which is like
iron.
supposed yeah, I know. It's iron. I yeah. But it's supposed to have a big supernatural like repellent type capability. Not sure I understand the octopus part, but maybe you got to make do with what you got
Well, candlestick, maybe just to put a candle on to perform it
because
and
that's
just
also in it. Yeah. But there were no candles found, which I find ironic.
yeah. So he goes on June 14th, 2003, he added the following information. Here's another update for everyone following my listing. No, no, I will not circumvent or make any deals outside of eBay, even for more money than the final auction price. If you want to win the auction and have the kind of money some of you are offering, there shouldn't be any reason why you cannot simply place your bid in an open, honest fashion.
I get that.
I'm sure you can understand why I might be suspicious. Also, for those of you wanting to know if I'm still experiencing anything out of the ordinary, I thought everything was okay until I got home on Friday, the 13th of June, and found that the fish in my freshwater aquarium, all 10 were dead. I'm still hoping that this is I'm still hoping that all of this is coincidental crap.
I wish that they could see the look on my face. That one, however, was a look of your pH was probably off. Did you clean your fish tank? Do you test your pH? Because he said salt water, right?
Freshwater.
Oh, fresh water. Okay, well then that's a little still could be off.
Yeah, that's true.
Was your water too warm? Was it too cold? Just say it. Not as much on the fish tank.
The box eventually sold to Losif Nitsky, sure, for $140, who in many articles he's called Joseph, so we'll just call him Joseph. He was a college student in Missouri who, after acquiring the box, claims to have befell bad luck right away. His hair started falling out. There was a whole bunch of weird instances at the colleges. I didn't really note a lot of them, but it was like he'd have people put their hands in the box and all these weird things would happen.
Idiots. Can you imagine this thing just chilling in a dorm room or like a frat house?
On top of the keg.
Like the initiation is put your hand in the Dybbuk box.
Oh my gosh.
It's just dumb. It's dumb.
And then there was Jason Haxton. He ended up purchasing the box via eBay in 2004 for $280. He was the director of the Museum of Osteopathic Medicine in Missouri. He got the box and was like, sure, open it. Inside, he found 2 locks of hair tied with string, 2 wheat pennies, and a goblet, and an iron candlestick holder with the octopus legs. And soon after, Haxton said he had, quote, tidal wave of bad luck. Some of his bad luck included bleeding eyes, choking, frequent dreams of an old hag after purchasing the box.
Pretty sure that's a little more than some bad luck.
And that's what he described it. And then you see bleeding eyes. You're like, sir, be a little bit more concerned.
Yeah, bad luck. I got bad luck. Luck has nothing to do with that.
He ended up taking a rabbi's advice and put the box in a gold-lined container and buried it away in a military-grade case. He refused to sell the box. He ended up opening a website, dybbukbox.com, that allowed people to share experiences with the box, and in 2011 published a book about his experiences with the box.
I would like to point out though that the one guy bought the box for $100 and then sold it for 200 something bucks.
Yeah, I think he bought it for $140 and sold it for $280.
Yeah, he doubled his profit. I'm just saying he made some profit on it.
And Haxton, in 2004, he sold the story rights, and the result was a movie produced by Sam Raimi called The Possession that was released in 2012. So he made some money too.
I almost watched that movie, I think, last night.
I want to see that now. I just haven't had a chance to watch it. I finally watched Weapons last night.
I just went on like a whole movie binge last night when I didn't feel good, but I couldn't sleep because I didn't feel good, one of those nights.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just watching all these like weird ass movies.
I just can't stop watching horror movies. And Halloween, like I can't watch anything but horror movies.
Yeah. Hey, I've tried. There's a couple that were like, eh. There's a couple really good ones though. Although there was one that was like a jump scare situation, and my boyfriend doesn't like it when I watch them because I jump like a little bitch and squeal while he's trying to sleep. And so then I scare him because I wake him up.
If you get a chance, the best 2 horror movies I've seen recently was the new Final Destination. That was insanely good.
I haven't seen those in forever.
And Sinners.
Sinners is the other one I almost watched.
Those
Wait,
are
no, I think
both
I did watch that
amazing.
one. Which one's that one again?
Michael B. Jordan and they're
That
like
doesn't help me any.
brothers, like a bootlegging thing.
Hmm.
If not, I'd highly suggest watching it. I don't want to tell you too much because you'll.
I feel like I looked at the thing and I remember going, huh, I think I've seen this before.
It's so good.
I'll have to double check.
All right, so The Possession was released in 2012, which we both have to watch. Manis and Haxton consulted on the film. In an article from Entertainment Weekly, the director described, quote, really weird things happening on set. One day he said he was under a neon light that was off and it just exploded. And within days of finishing the movie, all the movie's props were mysteriously just burnt up.
That's weird.
And the next and current owner of the box is Zach Baggins of Ghost
Ah,
Adventures,
boo.
who purchased the box in 2016 for an undisclosed amount of money. It was relocated to Zach Baggins' Haunted Museum in Las Vegas. Since then, the intrigue over the Dybbuk box has only grown.
He's only out to make a buck anyway.
Well, in 2019, a magazine writer, Kenny Biddle, from the Skeptical Inquirer, thought that the whole thing was to make a buck.
Mm-hmm.
And as proof, he posted a screenshot of Kevin Manis, the one that originally did the eBay post,
Yeah.
from Facebook that was dated October 24th, 2015. His post from Facebook. Did I say that confusing? Kevin
I think
Manning's
I got
post.
it.
Okay. Well, his post from Facebook read, I am the original creator of the story of the Dybbuk box, which appears as one of my eBay posts back in 2003. The idea that the Dybbuk box may have some kind of history prior to my story, and the idea that a Dybbuk box could contain anything other than a Dybbuk, along with any deviation to the type of contents I created to be found inside the Dybbuk box, is laughable at best. How about this? If anyone else can find any reference to a Dybbuk box anywhere in history prior to my eBay post, I'll pay you $100,000 and tattoo your name on my forehead. So Manis
Was he saying it's a hoax?
he's saying I made up the whole story.
Ah, that doesn't surprise me.
Manis, who has a background in writing
Oh,
and in entertainment, purchased the box at a yard sale. And in 2021, he admitted to fabricating the whole story of the box and said how he, quote, added new elements to the Dybbuk box story over the years to help evolving it, keeping it relevant and interesting.
hmm. I'd like to know what his siblings have to say, or his mother, or I guess to spell.
So he goes on to say that not everything was fake. He did give his mother the Dybbuk box on Halloween, and she has since passed away, but he said that
Oh,
she did actually have that stroke.
hmm. Is this a paranormal cover up?
That's the thing. It could go either way. He actually went on Ghost Adventures and told Zach Baggins that there's 10 boxes hidden around the world.
Of course he did.
That maybe a woman summoned evil spirits to help the Jews fight against the Nazis during the Holocaust.
Okay, that actually tracks.
But then it became out of control, and they separated it almost like a Horcrux, if you think of Harry Potter, and
Yeah.
hid it around the world. That most of them are found, but I think there are a few that are still out there.
Imagine what would happen if they found them all. Got to
And-
catch them all.
Reunited them. But to me, if you lie about something, it's hard to believe other parts.
Yeah.
But on an episode of Ghost Adventures titled Quarantine, Zach Baggins decided to open the box after he heard the box talk, saying evil and Kevin. They were like,
Oh,
sure,
of
let's
course.
open it up.
Yeah.
Once they opened it, they claimed that they saw a figure in the box.
Of course they did.
I couldn't really see it. There's a video online. Maybe someone else can. Maybe I just have bad eyes. I don't know. But during this episode, Post Malone was there. And even though he didn't actually touch the box, he only touched Zach that was touching the box. He freaked out and took off. Within the next few months, Post Malone had a plane issue, a car accident. His house was broken into. He's done interviews on, what's that guy? Seth Meyers. like, talking about how it, like,
Yeah.
really freaked him out and stuff.
I think the guy probably came up with the more embellished story about there being 10 in the world or whatever, probably to convince this dude that he made a good investment.
Yeah, like, maybe that leaves the door open if he wants to sell some more.
Yeah.
But he said that the carving on the back of it, like, that he did it himself.
Hmm. Well, that should be easy enough to know because you'd be able to see if the carving is old or new.
But then a lot of, like, the accounts from the other people, but then you have to remember when he sold the boxes every time, he said, like, "I'll meet with you in private." So who knows what those conversations were?
True.
Like, "Hey, you keep this up, this charade?"
Yeah. I'll give you $100.
But then that makes the next person, like, that owns the box, they can make money off of it in different ways too, and it just keeps growing. But on the other hand, if you keep playing around with evil around certain things, that doesn't mean that it can't, like, attach to something, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, the tulpa the shit out of it.
Yeah. So what do you think about it?
On one hand, I can see something like this being in existence. And how would this man know anything about this box if there was no history on said box?
Well, they say that,
But he was
Dybbuk's
just like, oh, if you find any information, blah, blah, blah. Well, clearly he needs a tattoo on his head.
Dybbuk's can't attach to boxes. I think they could only attach to people, I wanna say.
Yeah, but what if you trap it in said box? You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I'm looking up because I think that they only possess people, so I was trying to look it up, and it said, oh my gosh. Sometimes these spirits were said to possess women on the eve of their weddings, typically in a sexual fashion by entering the woman through their vaginas, which is seen in and sky play. So it usually possesses women, but I guess it sometimes can possess men.
What the fuck? Through the vajayjay. Okay.
The one I just quoted, I'll
Hmm.
just throw the article in the show
Let's
notes
hope
too.
it's at least a good time. Hope they enjoy themselves.
I think it was the thing that they do not attach to items. It's supposed to be like a malicious
Well, I
spirit.
mean, let's put it this way. Look at it this way. You cannot attach my dog's crate to its back, but you can trap him inside said crate. You know what I
I
mean?
hear what you're saying. Yeah.
And maybe that's where the locks of hair come in, is it's part of a person. So what if you trapped it into that small portion of hair and then trapped the hair in the box?
It's a possibility.
I mean, loophole. Loophole, spiritual loophole. On one hand, if it is real, this guy's an idiot. Like, he's like, what's he do? Trying to be the only sole beneficiary of his mother's will? I mean, what's going on here? Like, he's just trying to off everyone?
But if not, what a story. Like, what a
If
good
it is,
story writer.
yes.
And the fact that you could sit and make up a story about a box you bought at a yard sale, and that story has made it around the world, terrified people. Like, that's badass to me. Like, that's
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean, it is. It is. That's impressive. But to me, it's just a matter of what happens when and how it happens. Like, some of the stuff could just be bad mojo. What if something peed on the box and that's why it smells like pee?
It's cat spray.
I mean, it very well could be. You can't wash that shit out.
That stuff stinks. My brother played football for his whole high school year, and my mother brought back a cat and didn't get it fixed quick enough, and it sprayed on his leather jacket, his Letterman jacket, and that's like he cannot replace it. And I just remember how upset he was over that. I felt so terrible for him.
Oh,
But that's a smell that takes over the whole house. So
yeah.
if it was like spray, it kind of smells like
Yep.
cat pee, but it just you can smell that walking in a door. And I would not say that's Jasmine,
Yeah, not at all. I was going to say, what if Jasmine's like pee, kind of like pot is the skunk?
who enjoys cat pee smell.
I mean, I enjoy the smell of skunk, so there's that.
You do?
Oh, I love it. It's like one of my favorite
Ugh,
things.
you're
Yeah,
so weird.
I know. I'm an odd duck.
But there were signs.
Yeah, there were signs. But it's just, okay, why don't we do it this way? So we have cryptid and crap. This could be supernatural or shit.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it started off as shit, but it might have gained some kind of bad mojo. Like, not to say it's like, you know what I mean? Like, when you have so much darkness around something over and over and over, it just gets like bad vibes and bad. I still don't want to go near it.
I wouldn't want to touch it. That's for damn sure. me being me, I would want to stay very far away from this thing so that I don't pick up on whatever negativity, if there is any attached to it. I don't want that kind of shit going on with me. But it's just, it's bizarre. I feel like for me at first, and this is the other thing too, is let's dissect a little here because I'm that asshole. The lady survives the Holocaust and goes to Poland or Spain.
Hmm.
What the hell's happening in Spain that would even make this box? It would have had to have been used in some sort of ritual before she brought it back. And what kind of little old lady that just got out of the Holocaust? I guess she wasn't a little old lady then, but maybe she was into some dark shit. What if she was a witch or knew an exorcist or something?
Yeah, that's kind of like what the story was, that they trapped, like they used it to make some sort
But in
of.
what scenario? But what scenario would she have been in, which would have required a box to trap a demon or whatever?
They did some sort of dark magic to summon something that would help fight against the Nazis,
But that would imply that she had it before she escaped, right?
unless she had the hairs and stuff, and then after she was like, "Oh my gosh, this thing is still near me. I need to trap it. We'll Horcrux it like Harry Potter."
But then there'd be a lot more than just 10. If they could summon some kind of spirit to fight the Nazis in an internment camp, there should have been a lot more.
Well, that's his story. Maybe there's only 10 he knows of.
And he just ironically didn't know about the other 9 when he had the box.
I don't know. The fact that he was like, I don't even know what this word shalom means. They had the internet back then. Like, you could have popped it online and been like, what does this mean?
Hell,
Or
you could
asked
go down to
anybody.
the local market and they'd know what shalom means.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, a lot of the things that he said in his story, like, it could easily have been verified.
If it didn't give me so much crap trying to do this, I would say total shit. But what if, because of the negativity, it's drawn demons to it and spirits to it,
That's the same
as
way I feel. It's like,
like putting the energy into it?
that it's put it out there in the universe, all this darkness, and maybe it's like attached to it. So now it might have some darkness to it.
Now, granted, Mr. Baggins gets possessed by everything, so how come it didn't possess him?
I think it did something to him and he ran
Like
out or
possess
something.
him and bitch slap his partner or whatever, because that seems to be what always happens.
I don't usually watch the full episode. I see clips of him. That's all I can deal with.
Yeah, I can't.
I saw the Velisca axe with him and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I just can't.
I've seen a lot of interviews with people who had recorded episodes with him and then later on had interviews and they were like, this is not at all what the story was. This is what he made the story. And it wasn't my story at all. It's total bullshit.
But I mean, that goes to the thing that it was bullshit and it's just going through, but now it has a name. So now he's playing into it and it's just monetary up the chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Each person is making money off it. 140 to 280 to 400 to who knows
Yeah.
with Zach. Plus the movie rights for the other guy, you know?
I'd say shit. The concept very much so screams supernatural.
But what a badass story. If he fully just made this up, like that's awesome. What a writer.
You ever think about the people that like Saw, like the movie Saw,
Yeah.
or like books like that? I mean, people do it all the time.
But this is just like he's just Joe Schmo just doing this and on eBay he made it blow up like this. I think that's awesome.
So don't forget, everybody, to check us out on social media. Let's see here. We've got TikTok, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got the email, which we're always open to any encounters, any kind of feedback you guys have. It's creepitweirdpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to go over there, share it, like it, all of that fun stuff. I think we also have a YouTube channel, so subscribe to that too once we get that up and going.
Let us know in the comments below if you think this was, what did you say? Supernatural,
Supernatural or shit.
Well, thank you everybody for listening and remember to creep
It
weird.